A tiny little apartment on Nolensville Road, the modest home of Nashville's most famous car thief and escape artist. There hasn't been a detective out here this century. In fact, the only thing that turns your head is the man who lives in this tiny apartment owns 11 cars.
You don't look at the engine in it.
Clayton Rabbit Veach, born in poverty in the little Texas area of Williamson County. By the time he was a teenager, he had launched a prolific life of crime.
But they didn't hurt anybody. And I don't know, it just, one thing led to another, I guess. And I just couldn't stay out.
Veach was front page news in Nashville for 25 years. A man who once put a sign on a car, "This car is completely made from stolen parts."
He had a good nature about him. And I think back then, which is probably different than today, I think the public tended to be more open about accepting someone like that even though he was involved in crimes, he had the personality and probably the charm. And he wasn't violent. That he became, in my opinion, in Nashville at least, an icon, a cultural icon. He was like Jimmy Dean, and of course the Jimmy Dean of the 50s.
Veach would see a car broken down on the interstate, steal the motor and transmission, then wait, go to the scrap auction, buy the shell of the car, and put it back together.
I could take a 4-speed out in, like 25, 30 seconds. It'd take about 2 minutes. They didn't have no cross member on them. They just had the 4 bolts up there and just take 4 bolts for that to fill out.
But it wasn't just fast cars that made Veach notorious. It was his escapes. Veach escaped from police at least 6 times. They were escapes right out of a movie.
So I made me a gun out of that window putty, goes around the windows. Yeah. And a milk carton, and put it all together and painted black with shoe polish. They come in there to feed me next morning. I put the gun out and, it scared them all up.
And then one near the Alabama line.
I went to open the door, and when he fell back some, he was a little fat, chunky guy. He fell back, and I jumped out of the car and took off. He shot at me twice, but I don't know if I hit him, but he missed me.
Once he jumped from a moving car at 40 miles an hour, skipped across 2 streets, stole a car, jumped out at 40 miles an hour, and hid under a boat.
They was all around me, and I got up under a boat. And they come up and leaned on the boat and said, "There's some around here somewhere." I had to quit breathing because I was under that boat.
There was the time he hid in a maple tree, the time he got stuck escaping, and they actually had to grease his ears to get him out. But why?
They really can't run. Well, back then I could run good. They just can't run. They probably can now. They got a bunch of young ones in there now, but they just couldn't run back then like I could.
Rabbit had a strange code of honor. He never fought with police. He actually paid all court fees and attorney costs every time he was arrested. In fact, if he didn't have the money, he would steal a car to pay his debts.
And he was an honest man. He never made any bones about the fact that he stole cars. I mean, he didn't. Paid me every penny I ever billed him.
But by 1978, the law was tired of Rabbit. He was tried as a career criminal, a potential life sentence for a man who had never committed a violent crime. Bob Lynch defended Rabbit. Tom Thurman prosecuted.
When the jury went out, I think he must have been impressed by my closing argument because he took off so, before the jury came back.
When the jury went out, I went out. I guess everybody was so mixed up, they wasn't paying no attention to nothing. And when they went out, I went out. The DA all around there, and I just walked right on by him.
An absent Rabbit, a guilty verdict, and life in prison. A strange time for Rabbit Veach to decide he would never steal or run again.
And one day I was up on the ball field. I was just walking around. It seemed like something come into me. Said if you stay, like was talking to him, said if you stay out of trouble here a while, something good's gonna happen by this. I don't know if it was the good Lord talking to me or who. Something just come into your mind.
Veach was paroled when his life sentence was overturned. He says he lived up to his promise and never committed a crime again.
I kind of think it's kind of funny in the long run, but I don't. I guess I would be kind of stupid doing the thing that I did, but I just love fast cars.